Well, this is great radio, isn't it? This is great television or YouTube live streaming, isn't it? All right, now that we got our that was insane. You gotta love live television or live YouTubing, right? Welcome everyone to the people who are here. All right, you gotta have the lighting ready. You have to have the lighting really well so that you can actually see. So I apologize for that. But anyway, welcome to everyone who's watching. I've only got a couple here, but also welcome to those in the repeat. If you're watching on the repeat, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the video. I have a really good, interesting tip for you guys for today. However, I'm going to wait a few minutes to see if we can get a few more people onto the stream. So if you're on the stream, you know, drop a, hey, what's up? How's it going? And we'll talk a little. But anyways, I'm just getting back from a vacation. I've been gone for about 10 days. So that's probably why you haven't seen many videos dropping recently. But we're just going to go ahead and get back into the habit. I got one in the works right now that I'll be releasing on tomorrow. I'm working on this new thing with the new tags that are on YouTube right now. So if you notice, I have make money online and affiliate marketing and money. So we'll see if that makes any difference in the actual people who will see the site or see the live stream, as well as any who will be able to see in the replay. Still got to get used to this live streaming stuff. I mean, actually, to kind of explain what happened in the beginning of this video, which is slightly embarrassing, obviously, was I sat down, started the stream, and I totally forgot to set up my light. So I put the light up, and it wasn't necessarily anchored the best because the second I sat down, it just kind of crashed everywhere. So yeah, we'll see if this live stream sticks on the channel for very long. But it's real, it's natural, you know. So I might leave it up for a while, see if I get any type of interesting video or any type of interesting viewership on it. Hey, Cliff, how you doing, man? Business is going well. We are still growing. The channel's still growing. We just crossed 1,700 subscribers, which I think is insane. I mean, it's very true what they say that everybody starts at zero, man. You know, it was hard to get up to that first 100 subs, and then you got to like 500 subs. Then we cracked 1,000. The amount of time that it took to crack 1,000 subscribers, we've gotten 700 in literally a fraction of that time. So I think it's more of a mental thing. I think when people see, oh, this channel has over 1,000 subscribers, he must know what he's talking about, you know. So I think it's a mental thing with people where they actually listen. But they always say that a lot of your subscribers under 1,000, those are going to be your most loyal subscribers. So I do appreciate it. How are things going on with your business, man? All right, so while we wait on Cliff's answer there, we're going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and jump in. I think it's been a couple of minutes so far. Yeah, so we've had enough time for some people to jump in. So what we're going to talk about today is how making money online through blogging is like building a house. Some may look at that and say, Chris, you're insane. How is that even the case? Well, when it comes to building a house, not everyone knows how to build a house. Building a house, obviously, is a pretty interesting skill. However, if you have any experience in construction at all, you may know that building a house is not very difficult. It's just labor intensive. It takes a lot of effort, and it does take a little bit of know-how, but it's not necessarily difficult. A lot of the carpentry skills and carpentry different principles that you might follow are actually pretty 1+1=2 type stuff. You're always trying to add this, add that to get the angle here and all of that kind of thing when you're laying bricks and all of that. So when you're building a house, you are laying stuff brick by brick. And it's very similar to blogging online. Blogging is not difficult. It's not a difficult thing to do. You're just sitting down in front of a computer and you're writing. But through use of the internet, you can actually scale that and make a full-time income from it. So if you were to build a house, maybe you're building it brick by brick. With the amount of time that it takes to build a house is kind of similar to the amount of time it takes to actually make money with a blog online. So for example, when you are first starting off, you may not know much about building a house, but you might know I need bricks. So you're going to go and you're going to get some bricks. So you might lay that first brick one day. That first brick may be buying your domain. That first brick may be realizing that you need help to make sure that you can build this house safely. So then you lay the second brick the next day. Maybe that's choosing niche. Maybe that's getting the first blog post out there. Maybe that's creating a social media profiles. That's that next brick. So you got second and third and fourth brick. So you've been working all day and you've created the domain. You've got your hosting for your site. You've got the social media profiles set up, and you start to put content and have the site optimized for search engine optimization. So that might be like 4 or 5 bricks. Are you really expecting to live in a house with 4 or 5 bricks on it? No, you're just walking by an empty lot that just has 5 bricks on it. That's not a house. Just like with blogging, it's the exact same thing. After one day, you're not going to really expect to have an entire full-blown running website that's going to be making you money. And that's where the misconception comes with blogging. There are so many out there who are saying that blogging is easy, that you can make money tomorrow with blogging. It's not that simple. Is it possible? Definitely, 100%, especially when you're dealing with maybe paid traffic. When it comes to free traffic, it is not as quick. It takes time to cultivate. It takes time to build, just like a regular house. So one of the biggest questions I typically get when it comes to how long it takes to make money online is, or just that, how long does it take money? How long does it take to make money online? And that question is very, very subjective, because it depends on your work ethic. If you were to start with the training that I provide over at benjisdad.com, be sure to check it out in the link in the description. But if you just started with that training and you took 10 minutes with it, you just laid 1 brick, and then you came back next week, you can't expect to make money from that 1 brick, but if you put a second brick down and then a third brick down and you came back the next day or next week, you still can't really expect to make any money, because who is going to live on 3 bricks, But as time goes on, you write this brick and this brick and this brick, and it just takes a ton of time to put those bricks together. And all of a sudden you have what? A house. After you put a few hundred or 1,000 of those bricks, and you have the bathroom set up and you have the bedrooms set up, and now you can actually move into this house. That's what it is with blogging. You have to put things together step by step. After you put these things together, now it's time to live in your house. Now, when it comes to passive income, when it comes to blogging can be a source of passive income, but it's not necessarily full passive income, because it does still require you to put effort and work into the site. Very similar to if you were to move into a house. When you move into a house, after the house is built, there's very little maintenance that you have to do to keep that house going, or to keep that house standing. You might have to replace the gutters every once in a while, maybe get the roof cleaned off, maybe get the grass cut, keep things nice and shapely. That's basically what you're doing with your blog. After you have moved in to your blog, then it's not that difficult to actually get that money and get that blog up and running to where you can start making money from it. And then after you're in, it's kind of just, it's very simple. You just do a simple tweak here, a simple tweak there, and the site kind of takes a life of its own and just continues to grow and grow and grow. Especially when you do things such as outsourcing. One of my favorite outsourcing things that I use is called Upwork. Now with Upwork, you can hire writers to your site, but most importantly, you can also hire like content managers. So you can get to the point to where you have the content writers sending work to the content manager. That manager then posts it to your site and makes it look just like you would if you did it. So when you're building up your website and you start to make money with it, you can get to the point to where you're very standoffish on that particular site, because you have the content being created and then you have the content managers who are putting the content onto your site. So if you really want to hit the ground running, I would recommend blogging 4 or 5 times a week. Make sure it's good content. Don't just be slapping anything out there, but 4 to 5 times a week. Then, as your site starts to make money, as your site starts to really bring in that income, instead of going and blowing it on the latest iPhone or blowing it on a brand new TV, reinvest that money back into your business. Reinvest it into hiring content writers. Reinvest it into hiring content managers. By doing this, you can then make the site grow on its own. That's what's called scaling when it comes to blogging. Same thing, excuse me. Same thing if you were building a house. Once that house is built and you are living in it, and maybe after it's already paid off and you don't have to worry about paying the mortgage on it anymore, now you can start to scale that money that you were already spending to live in the house. Now you can use it to make an addition, or maybe get that new fence you were looking for, or maybe make the bedroom bigger, or add a new closet, or add a new bathroom. Those are the kind of things that you can do to then really scale your house or scale your blog to the point to where you don't have to do much with it anymore. So I mentioned earlier that I've been on vacation for the last few days. Uh, the amount of money that I made in the last few days, where I barely really looked at the site, is insane, and I didn't really do anything from it. And that is really how you accrue true wealth. If you check out one of the cards in this video, it's a little inspiration from a guy named Jim Rohn, who really kind of shows you how easy it is to make money in America. And it's not necessarily just America. You can, because of the internet, you can make this kind of money really anywhere. But really, go check it out in the cards that are available, and see the interview, or not the interview, but the interview that Jen Rohn had in the video. It's one of the latest videos that we posted on the channel. So if you want to, you can also check it out just by going to the channel page. But definitely check out how you can build your site and then scale it. And you scale it just by building a house, build that blog, live in that blog. And then after it's running on its own, you can then move on to another project, or then you can take a break for a few months and just let that money just keep growing and growing and growing in your bank account. So that's how you can make money blogging, by building a house. It's a figurative house. It's not a real one. So hopefully I didn't lead anybody on. But that's basically what building a house by blogging is, what I mean. All right. So Clifford responded. He said, yeah, 500 was the hardest to get to, but it's starting to move pretty quick now. That's good. Go ahead and check out Clifford's channel. He's a kind of a weightlifting guy. Be sure to check out his, I don't know exactly what the name of his channel is, but just find him. He's really good. He's already up to past 500. I believe he's got a few thousand, but he's doing good. Go ahead and check him out as well. Another question that I typically get with how long it takes to make money online is, there's other questions I get as well. And one of those questions is really, I don't really have anything to write about. I'm not good at writing anything, or I'm not good at anything. And to be honest, that's kind of sad. I understand that, sometimes people's like humility says that, I don't know this well enough to teach anybody. But really, you are good at something. You really just have to kind of dig down deep and see what it is that you like. If you literally were not good at anything, you would just be sitting in a blank room with the door closed, with never having any type of interaction with anyone. If your best thing that you can do is watching Netflix, if that's your favorite thing to do, if that's the only thing that you like to do, and you think that you're bored, or you think that you're boring, you can really make money by watching Netflix. And you're like, well, how can I make money by watching Netflix? Simple. By starting a blog promoting Netflix and the cool things to watch on the platform. So you just have to be a little creative with what you're thinking about when it comes to starting a niche. You can really start a niche about anything. You can start a niche about baby bags or coffee mugs or hard drives and computers or ties, or you can get really a little bigger. You can talk about make money online, or you can talk about cryptocurrency, which is kind of waning right now, but it's still a pretty big niche. You just have to be a little creative, and to be honest, once you kind of break that entrepreneur mindset, once you kind of get to the point to where, you know what, I can make money with that. Once you get to that point, you kind of get yourself out of the whole trading your time for money rut that 98% of this world is in. Not to say that is not a good way to make money online. Plenty of people make really good money, going to their 9 to 5s every day. But a lot of people hate their 9 to 5s. A lot of people do not enjoy working 9 to 5 because it ties you to a particular region of the world. You can't necessarily go out and do what you want whenever you want. You have to follow their script, and then they might force you to work overtime. And there's a particular freedom that you have when you have an entrepreneurship type mindset. It gives you freedom as well, because it gives you peace of mind. Because when it comes to a lot of big corporations that you may work for, or your employer that you work for, at the end of the day, they could likely get rid of you for any reason. A lot of people are what are called at-will employees. And if you're an at-will employee, that means you're probably, you can sneeze wrong and you can get fired for it. If you're not in a union or anything like that, which are actually very rare nowadays. But if you're not in those kind of things, you can get fired for any reason. And all of a sudden, if you are living paycheck to paycheck, you're going to be in trouble, because it might take a few months before you find another job. And a lot of people are one paycheck away from being totally broke. And that kind of thing exists in today's world, but there is a way around it. And one of those things is entrepreneurship. One of the best ways to do it, in my opinion, would be online. Uh, Online is still largely unregulated at the time. There's not that many. Um, there's so many ways to make money online, and there's so many open ways. Now things are getting a little tighter nowadays with things such as GDPR, and you can also check that video out. I have a video that explains what that means online. There are some other places that are trying to get it a little tighter when it comes to making money online, but the tightness, in my opinion, actually helps people who are honestly trying to help people when it comes to making money online. So right now, because the internet can be such the Wild West, you have people who will write crappy articles and then put a ton of backlinks on it and then get it to the first page of Google. And that really sucks for people like you and me who are really trying to help people out there, because our good content gets buried behind this mountain of backlinks. However, Google has been working to make this a little more of an even playing field, and it's actually coming to fruition very much so. If you follow Neil Patel, or if you follow Brian Dean, any of these guys, they talk a lot about what's called Rank Brain. Rank Brain is what Google has put together to really kind of comb through what is called the searcher's intent. So when you go to Google and you put in a phrase for what you're looking for, that phrase might be like a particular sentence, but it really boils down to 3 or 4 words, and Google is going to look for those 3 or 4 words. So for example, if you put in how to make money online, in the past, that would bring up a whole set of search results within Google. But then someone else may come through and put how to earn money online, and that will bring up a whole nother set of different search results. But to be honest, those two phrases are so closely linked that the searcher's intent 9 times out of 10 is exactly the same. They're just trying to figure out a way to make money online. So Google in the past couldn't differentiate between the two. Now they can because of RankBrain. But that's a good thing for people who are honestly trying to help people online, because we are creating content that will really help people learn how to make money online versus just targeting a keyword saying how to earn money online. And that's all I want. So in their article, they'll say, this is how you learn to earn to make money online. You earn to make money this way. You can earn money that way. You can earn this. So they what are called keyword stuffing, which is very bad for SEO, by the way. Is that keyword stuffing isn't going to get people the answer. They're just going to get them to the website, and then they try to monetize them or try to find some way to make money on them. And unfortunately, a lot of people fall for those types of tactics. But Google right now is trying their best to make sure that websites that keyword stuff or websites that don't serve the searcher's intent fall at the bottom of the Google search results. And then articles that I can teach you how to write, or articles that you learn how to write in other places that actually answer the question that people are looking for, will make it very simple for your pages to creep up through the top. Income School, which is another channel here on YouTube, which I follow, is a guys named Jimmy and Ricky. Those are really good guys, by the way. They know exactly what they're talking about, but they've been taking a pretty hard stance recently when it comes to backlinking and when it comes to how to really create good quality content. And I bring them up because they did a study recently where they said that on average, it takes about 25 to 35 weeks for Google to really know where your page should rank among the rest of the competition that's on Google. So you think 25 to 35 weeks, there's only 52 in a year, so that's over 6 months sometimes. But that's where you see your page jump here or jump there, or it jumps to second and it jumps to fifth. You really have to understand what it is Google is trying to do. So you write a good blog post on maybe how to tie your shoes or something random like that. So immediately Google's going to put your stuff out on the internet. Now, people are combing through the internet constantly, especially for a high competition keyword such as how to tie your shoes. So if someone's looking for that particular keyword and your blog post pops up, excuse me, your blog post pops up on like page 12 or 13. And among all of the crap that's around, once you get to page 12 or 13 of Google, which is a ghost town, nobody gets there. But let's just say someone gets there and they click on your result because it had a good title, or you actually answered the question or something like that. That'll actually be pretty cool, because what'll end up happening is that as they land on your page and they read it and they get the answer to their question, your page will slowly move up the rankings. Now, this takes time. It takes days. It could take weeks. And based on the study that was done over at Income School, it can take months. So if that's the case, then you just need to continually post. You can't post and then have what Brian Dean calls the wish effect. Oh, I hope it ranks. Oh, I hope it ranks. No, you don't want to do that. You want to actively do things to help it rank. So for instance, if you can send some social media traffic to it, maybe you go tweet it out, you put it on your Facebook page, you send it to your email list. And what that does is, as your site is getting these people to it and they start reading it, and they stay on the website a long time, like if they click on it and then they stick around for 4 or 5 minutes reading your stuff, or they watch a video that's on that page and they don't immediately click off of it, those are clear signals to Google that the content on your page is good. Okay, that's what Google wants to know. And then slowly but surely your page is going to move up the rankings. So be sure to go check that out. When it comes to creating quality content, that's what you really want to do. So if there's any more questions out there, please feel free to let me know. Thank you for everyone who has clicked that like button. It's been, really don't know how much that helps, but I know that YouTube likes engagement. So we know that it's funny when you do these live streams, uh, especially early on in the channel. Sometimes it's a little difficult to keep the vibe going, or to keep everything going nice and good and well, or I should say. Uh, but it's called Humble Beginnings, and that's where we're going to be here. And I think I learned with the last channel was that I needed to be sure to promote it more. And again, I'm going to be honest, I was lazy. I didn't bother with trying to promote it very much. I just kind of put it out there, and then here we go. So we'll stick around now for another 5 or 10 minutes. If somebody comes on, we can give them some one-on-one help. That'd be great. All right, guys. Zeron's in the building. Asked the question: $100 per day attainable within 6 months? That's a very good question. Is it attainable? Yes, it is attainable. It is possible. But a lot of factors have to fall right. You could probably get something like that within 6 to 12 months. But you have to remember the nature of, or the cumulative effect that affiliate marketing and blogging really has. Because as your traffic grows, so does your income. So, early on, you may make pennies literally for the first few weeks or maybe the first few months of your website. But after about the 4 to 6 month mark, you might make $20. And then month 7, you might make $80, and then it might jump to $100, and then it might jump to $1,000 within a few months. And then after 12 months, maybe over to that 18-month period, if you're still posting consistently, if you're still putting together good quality content, then you'll be making, I can guarantee that you'll be making a lot more than, $100 a day. But it requires you to actually put work towards it. It actually requires you to kind of preach to a ghost town for a while. Now, I'm not saying that isn't the case. One of the posts, actually, if you check out the channel, under the success stories, if you check it out on my channel, one of the videos you'll see is a big thing that says success stories. In that video, there's a guy that within 7 months was making about $4,500 a month. So 4,500, I don't know what that is a day, but he was making 4,500 divided by 30. He was making $150 a day, and that was within 7 months. So again, a lot of factors have to fall right. Most of the time, it's going to take a little more than 6 months in order to get to a figure like that. However, if you pick the right niche, if you hit it, right, if you create the right blog post, if there's very little competition in that particular niche, you can make money with it relatively quickly. But we don't want to give any guarantees, because nothing is, nothing is guaranteed. There's some people who will never get to that particular point, and there's some people who will get to it within a few months. But it is a long game. This is a marathon. It's definitely not a sprint. Yeah, I know it's a hard question to answer. I'm fairly new, so I was wondering for a ballpark figure. I read about people hitting big numbers within a few months and curious if it's all hype or not. Google has gotten to the point, Zeron, to that if someone is making that kind of money that quickly, chances are they're probably doing something a little shady with the Google algorithm, and they may be making money now. They actually could probably make a lot of money now. But what will probably eventually happen is that Google will have an update pop up or whatever, which happens quite often, by the way. And your first page rankings on that site are probably going to plummet if you're not doing it the right way. I show people how to do it the right way over at benjisdad.com. But you have to do it the right way. If you are propping your site up with bogus backlinks, if you're propping your site up with terrible backlinks from of non-authoritative blogs, and you're just counting on that, then eventually what will happen is that if that's what's really propping your site up and the content isn't good, it's going to tank eventually. You may make money a little bit, or for a little while, but you really can't look to do anything self-sustained or long-term. Which is why the way that I like to blog is the best way to do it, because I do very little, if any, backlinking. Sometimes I might do it for like a mega post that I do or whatever, just to kind of tell people that it's out there. But for the most part, you write a post, you share it on social media, and that's you may not go that far with it. Didn't let it sit, let it kind of percolate right there with Google, you know. So I hope that answers your question. Check out that success stories video. It's really going to show an example of a guy who made 4,500. And I believe what he did with that site too is, instead of like sticking with it, I believe he turned around and sold it. And I think he sold it for like 40 grand, which is kind of crazy. And actually, that may not be right, because typically, if you're making about 4,500 or so, you multiply that by 20, a factor of 20 or 30, and then you'll end up making like, can sell that site for a few $100,000. Anyway, Zeron says the main backlinks I've heard of are using Simple Web 2.0s and maybe some guest posting. Yeah, I would, excuse me, I would recommend guest posting. But guest posting on relevant sites and making sure that they're attached to really good articles that you write. Don't just write 300 or 400 word article and post it on some random site just looking to get a backlink. I believe one of the things that Google has said recently, more specifically, is that if your intent is to put links out there to prop up your site, then you're breaking the terms of use when it comes to Google. So don't do that. Don't go out there with the intent of putting links out there. Go out there with the intent of helping. Go out there with the intent of wanting to answer people's questions. And while you're doing that, you can drop a link to your page or drop a link to your website, and that backlink will definitely help. Backlinks are still huge. I do not want to say that backlinking is not a good thing to do. But the problem is there's so many people who take advantage of backlinking and don't know how to do it correctly that they end up screwing up their site. And that's not what I want people to do. It's more sustainable to write good quality content, especially with people with limited amounts of time. Not everybody who jumps into blogging immediately are going to have a ton of time to go out there looking for backlink opportunities, because that is very, very time consuming. Having to find the right website, having to reach out to the content creator or reach out to the website, hope that they respond to you. If they do respond to you, now you have to actually send them a pitch for what you can do, maybe give them examples of what you've done in the past, and then they have to want to have you on their site. And if you do other types of backlinking where you're doing maybe broken link backlinking, where you got to go out and find these broken links, and you may have to go get an expensive program like SEMrush or Ahrefs to help you find those backlinks. So that's another cost right there that you have to include. Those programs at minimum are like $99 a month. And if you're just starting off and you don't have a huge budget, that's not anything you really want to jump into. But then you find those broken backlinks and you have to maybe recreate the page that was now lost from that broken backlink, and now you have to pitch it to that person. And then if they don't feel like doing it, or if the site's dead and it's just there just because it still exists, then you could be wasting a ton of time, trying to look for. As you can tell, backlinking is very, very involved. It's worth it, but it's very, very involved when it's done correctly. So definitely, I would stay away from Web 2.0s. They do work, but they work now. I would not be surprised if Google were to come out eventually and do something to where all these Web 2.0s just disappear. And when I say disappear, I mean the link juice that come from the Web 2.0s to your page can disappear. You don't want that link juice to disappear. That link juice disappears and your page drops from number 1 to number 500. No one will ever see your site. So definitely, because of the amount of time it takes to properly backlink, your time will probably be better served creating good content. And that's kind of what I would recommend you guys do. Create good content, get it out there just right. Get out there, try to write between 30 to 50 articles, maybe just to get started. And what I would do is probably let that site just kind of marinate. Write top 10 posts, write some what are called response posts that are answering good questions within your niche. And, make about 30 or so of those types of posts. I would maybe do about 40 to 50 if you really want to jump into it. And what will end up happening is your site over time is going to slowly have what's called that hockey stick curve, where it's going down, 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 and then all of a sudden it just kind of shoots up. Excuse me. That's what you kind of really want to happen. So you can kind of binge. Like, really, I would sit there and write 30 to 50 articles as much time as I have to put into it. It might take me a month or two. If you have the money or the budget for it, you can contract out some of that work. And you can just build the site and then let it sit. At that point, now you can go work on another site, work on another interest or another niche that you really want to start on, and then start working on that one as well. So then after a few months, when that site starts to actually scale up and you see the kind of money that the site is starting to make, at that point, you may want to revisit the site and maybe tack on another 50 to 60 posts on it to get it over 100. By doing that, you can really turn a site from making $0 to making you $5,000-$6,000 a month. And then if you really push it and make it become an authority site, you can really push it to 10 or 20,000. It sounds insane, but it's totally true. We were talking about that house example earlier. When it comes to building a house, if you're working a 9 to 5, your house can only get so big because you're trading your time for money. Your house can only get so big because there's only so much time in the day. But with the internet is constantly cumulative. It's constantly stacking on top of one another. And if you can write good, what's called evergreen content, that means content that is going to be interesting now, that was interesting 5 years ago, that's going to be interesting in the next 5 years. That's evergreen content. If you can write content like that and you just constantly do it over and over and over again as time grows, as time passes, you can really build a huge authoritative site that can make you thousands of dollars per month, tens of thousands of dollars per month. It just takes time. You just got to put the time and effort into it. Yeah, Zeron, go ahead and I appreciate you, man, stopping by. Take off, bro. So, if there's any other questions, please let me know. I appreciate everyone who's come to the stream. I think we've had about 8 or 9 people at one point. Hey, I'll take that. We're getting off to a slow start here, but again, humble beginnings. Humble beginnings. Actually, I like live. I like, especially with it being small right now, because I can have full interactions with anyone who shows up. So let's do that. All right, so I know I kind of rambled for a lot of this video, but I had a lot to say. Like I said, it's been a couple of weeks. Haven't live streamed in a while, so I had a lot of stuff to get off my chest. But anyway, I will be trying to commit to a posting schedule so I can kind of round out the channel. If you notice, I kind of updated the channel banner, and so go check it out on the homepage. I put that I will be posting new videos every Tuesday and every Friday. I'm going to try and do that. Kind of hold my feet to the fire and see if I can actually get this done. But having a good, consistent schedule is going to really help out the channel a lot, I believe. By doing so, it'll help grow the channel in terms of videos. So then as people discover the channel as time goes on, they can go back and watch old videos, because there's a library of videos to watch. So, one thing I always hear is that, well, how many blog posts do you need to be successful? How many YouTube videos do you need to be successful? Technically, you only need one. If you have one that goes viral, then you can make a pretty good, decent amount of money from it. But if you want to build something sustained, if you want to build something that's going to make you money now, as well as 10 years from now, then definitely you want to keep adding to that beast, keep adding to that monster, and hopefully that's what I'll be able to do. I recommend that definitely when it comes to blogs, but I also recommend that definitely when it comes to a YouTube channel, by just building mounds and mounds of content, so that as people find you, they have other videos of you in which they can watch. So if anyone ever has any questions, please let me know down in the comments as well. I also have a full training guide, step by step. It's a video series that I put together that shows you exactly how you can make money online, step by step. We don't skip any steps with this. So you know, if you're feeling uneasy, if you're feeling like you don't know how to do it or whatever, I'll show you exactly how to do it over at benjisdad.com. There is a link down in the description, so please be sure to go check it out. benjisdad.com. It's a video series. It literally shows you everything that exact same way that I start every one of my pages, every one of my blogs, and go ahead and check it out. So anyway, we're losing steam right here. I'm getting tired. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I enjoyed having each and every one of you here on the live stream. I will try to do another one at the end of the week. If I'm feeling frisky, I may even do one in the middle of the week. So stay tuned. We're going to have a good time with this channel. Thanks so much for everyone that's been watching, everyone that's been subscribed. I definitely appreciate each and every one of you. Please share this video with your friends and family so that others can make money online just like you. And if you want to make money online, not just a little bit of money, but a lot of money, be sure to hit that subscribe button and check out the latest video on the channel. I will catch you all later.